What's up YouTube, MegaCapitalG here with a regional report and a terrible deck list because I'm not that good of a deck builder. You guys are just going to have to deal with this awful deck that I put together, this terrible concoction that I call Barrier Statues. I took this to Charlotte Regionals and I didn't do completely awful. I think I was very satisfied the way I performed at the regionals. The regionals in Charlotte was colossal. It was, my God, it was almost 400 people. It was 374. I know the audio might be a little wanky because I am recording from my phone. I found this random ass tripod that this phone's not even meant for, but at least that kind of stabilizes the video so you guys don't have to deal with a shaky ass camera. All right, so round one, we played Mass Heroes. We 2-0'd them. Round two, we took that momentum and immediately threw it away because we got 0-2, or we got 2-0'd by Majespecters, which wasn't that big of a deal. It's performed by Majespecters with some Dracos in there. The worst matchup for this deck is Majespecters. It's just not a good matchup. They play too many banishing stuff, and it's just a bad matchup overall. In let's see, round three, I played Metalfoe Zing. We won 2-1. That was a close game. And then in round four, we lost to Seraph Teller Knights 1-2. And I was like, what? Yes, I lost to fucking Teller Knights. Now, at this point of the regional, after round four, I am 2-2. And it's a 9-round regional. I am seriously contemplating dropping because I was like, well, I'm probably not going to get my invite. And at least I can go home and watch my Chiefs play. You know, I've got a 2.5-hour drive. Like, what are the odds of me actually, finishing the regional out 5-0? And, like, that's exactly what happened. I didn't lose another game for the rest of the day. I somehow managed to go 5-0 after that point, which was pretty shocking to me. Let's see. In round five, we played Kozmo. This kid had an attitude, so we had to 2-0 his ass very quickly. In round six, we played Mermail. We won 2-1. Round seven, we played against Winda. We won 2-1. And round eight, we played PK Fire. We 2-0'd him. And then in round nine, we played Blue Eyes, and we 2-0'd Blue Eyes. All right, let's go through the deck really quickly. It's Barrier Statues, as I said. Let's move this over a little bit. All right, so we played, what's it called? We played 6 Barrier Statues. Right quick, you should not be running the 3 that I ran, or excuse me, the 2 that I ran. I ran the wind one and I ran the fire one. For some reason, we had been talking about this deck on my stream for a while, and for some reason my stream never thought it was relevant to inform me that Metalfoes were fucking fire, and by the time that I realized that, which was Thursday, it was too late for me to do anything about it. If you're going to play this deck right now, this second, do not play these 2 because Metalfoe or Majespecters is already a very difficult matchup for you. Don't make it any like harder. Also, if you play against PK Fire, like Taketenberg and like Terratop are just randomly win, so you don't want that. Play the Earth one and the Water one, even though the Water one is kind of expensive. Like those are the ones you want. Don't be bad like me. We played 3 copies of Fossil Dyna. No explanation needed there. It's basically just a barrier statue, but like way bigger, and it exemplifies the entire point of this deck. Summon monsters, don't let your opponent special summon, beat the shit out of them. We ran our little draw engine, which is a 3 pot of duality and 3 card of demise. It's a demise dot deck, back row, helmet, all that shit. None of these monsters are searchable, so obviously we need a little bit of deck thinning power to draw some stuff. Card of Demise is just fucking so good. Every time I saw that card in my opening hand, I was like, thank God. Except when I didn't draw any monsters. I was like, oh my goodness. See, please, save me, Jeebus. 3 copies of Moonmirror Shield. It's the whole reason that this deck can really exist. If you look throughout Yu-Gi-Oh's history, all of these monsters like Fossil Dyna and shit have always been super good. They're just super weak, and that's essentially Konami's way of balancing them. This is the way to get around that balancing. You just put a Moonmirror Shield and you can attack over like Blue Eyes and stuff like that with Jogan's. Jogan's another card that's like just like Fossil Dyna, super great, but I think it has like 500 stats. So Moonmirror Shield is the great equalizer. Then we played our 2 field spells. I think Sildar Kakos is pretty much non-debatable. And I decided to play Necrovalley. Honestly, I would be lying if I say that this card was super great all day. It was great against Blue Eyes and it was great against PK Fire for obvious reasons. So this card was super great against those decks. But honestly, in other matchups, I was pretty much just siding it out on a regular basis. If I had to go back, I would probably play Dark Sanctuary over this. Plus, Dark Sanctuary is also ultra rare, so the rarity horn me is still held at bay because I will not play super rare Necrovalleys. The rarity horn me will not allow that shit. Zero Oricacos is non-debatable, even though I know you guys are like, oh, Cap, you're a rarity horror. Why is your upstart common? It feels bad, man. I had a playset of ultras and I sold them like, I don't know, a year and a half ago, and I just never bought them again because I didn't think I was gonna play this so that you can play a 39 card deck. Book of Moon, I ran this card over Regeki, and I think this is the right call. Here's the problem with cards like Regeki and Powerful Rebirth, right? So you draw them in your opening hand, and they don't protect your barrier statues, and they aren't defensive cards. They're like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't really serve a purpose. Ideally, your ideal hand is to like summon a barrier statue in set 5 and protect the fuck out of it and make sure your opponent can't kill it. You know what I mean? So I feel like Regeki was much better out of the side deck. So I took it out of the main deck completely for Book of Moon, and I liked it. Then for the traps, so we've got 3 copies of Solemn. I don't really need to explain that. It's Solemn, so just play that shit. 3 battle traps and Darude Mirror Force. I think this is the best one for this deck. Since I took what's that terrible card, Powerful Rebirth. Since I took Powerful Rebirth out of my deck, I had a lot of space. So I decided to not only play Wings, because I was like messing around with Maxes. I just took them out and I took the Powerful Rebirth out completely. I decided to play not only Wings, but 3 copies. To be honest though, the most clutch card all day was this. It was Phantom Knight Sword. The reason that you play so many of these Phantom Knight cards is because A, they can be played during the damage step. B, this one is permanent. It's 500, but it is permanent. And C, these cards make it so that if your opponent kills your monster with an effect or in battle, they basically protect your shit. So they're just like anti-Regeki cards. So you have like 8 ways to out Regeki. We played double. Huge Revolution is over. If I could go back, I would play Starlight Road, especially because I'm playing the Wind Barrier statue, so I can summon Stardust Dragon under this. I resolved this a bunch of times, and usually it was super good against Twin Twister and Regeki, but I don't know, I just never felt like my opponent had Solemn. That's the whole reason that you run this over Starlight Road, is because it's a spell speed 3, so usually they can't respond to it. But if I could go back, I would probably run Starlight Road just because of the upside. Getting a free Stardust Dragon, if you get it, should be able to win you the duel. And then for the 1-ofs, Solemn, Evac, Bottomless, and Ring. People might look at these 2 cards, think they've been power creeped. They have been, but not in this deck, because they've only been power creeped because of the Pendulum Summon and because of how fast the game is. But if you have your Barrier statue or you have Fossil Dyna, your opponent is only normal summoning, which means that these are great 1-for-1s that stop attacks and that just, kill monsters. Well, this one does. This one stops extra deck stuff. And then these are just good cards in general. So that's it for the main deck. Let's go to the extra deck. Alright, so for the extra deck, we played 3 Mystical Space Typhoon. Honestly, this card wasn't really... I sided in a lot, but I didn't really like it. It really wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. Like, I blindsided it in against Blue Eyes in the last match because I kind of felt like he was going to side Decree. I didn't see a Decree all day. Against PK Fire, the dude in game 1, he fall bladed me 3 times, which was the only time that my barrier statues got negated, and I still won. So, I don't know. MST should have been good, but it just, wasn't. We play our Mass Removal, Double Dark Hole, and Regeki. These are for going second. No one is going to let you go first with this deck. If you win game 1, expect to go second, game 2, all the time. So you side these in when you're gonna play against a deck that makes a big board. Like I played against Heroes. He activated Hero Lives. He just went the fuck off. He summoned Dark Law, Rafflesia, and Utopia the Lightning, and I was just like, Dark Hole, and he just started crying, and he was like, oh man, did you draw that as your last card? I was like, no, it was in my opening 5. So yeah, you side those in when you know you're gonna go, when you know you're gonna go second, which is always. Floodgates. Floodgates make life happy. So we played 2 anti-spell, because fuck pendulums, that's what you side us in for anything pendulum based, and 2 Grave of the Super Ancient Organism. You guys thought that I was trolling with this shit, right? Now this card, I only sided it once today, because I only played Blue Eyes in the last round, but when I saw it game 2, it just like shit on him because he had like a Blue Eyes and he had Spirit Dragon, and then he went to attack with Blue Eyes, and I flipped this over and he was like, oh, and he just sat there and did nothing until I was able to get my Wind Barrier Statue and Moon Mirror Shield, and then I just killed him. So it literally just, it did what I said it was gonna do. It just like sat, just like he couldn't do anything. He just sat there and he couldn't attack and he couldn't use effects, and he eventually just died. 2 copies of 7 tools. For other demise decks, because you know they're going to run a high trap count, I decided to send against Kozmos for like stupid ass cards like Kozmojo, against like Majespecters to get rid of Tornado. Just any deck that is going to play traps other than strikes, because strike doesn't do anything against this deck. It's a terrible card. Only one player pitched strike for Twin Twister. I was like, a lot of people should be doing that. Then Dark Sanctuary. I didn't side it. As I said, I would probably main deck this and side the Necrovalley, because I think this card is more useful across the board. The fact that it has a 50% chance of being able to negate an attack and do damage, so it can technically kill your opponents. These are 2 cards. I don't know why the fuck I sided these. I didn't side them in all day. This card, don't run Kaijus in this deck because it directly conflicts with Pot of the Duality and Card of Demise. Honestly, this was supposed to be Swords of Concealing Light, but I was too lazy to go to the vendors and see if they had any Earth Barrier Statues and Water, so like I just ended up playing this card. And then Gramble is because, I don't know, I'm a fucking idiot. It's like, I don't know what I was going to side that in against. And then the extra deck, right? So you guys are going to look at this extra deck and be like, okay, Cat, you're only playing like 10 fucking cards, and like a lot of them you can't even summon, so like what the fuck. Like you'll probably notice that none of the Earth monsters, I can't summon them because again I planned on getting the Earth Barrier Statue, but it just didn't come to fruition, so let's just erase those. And then these are cards that I could summon, but you never are going to summon these. Like you're not going to exceed, even if you can. And then people will probably wonder about these, like why did I even play them? Like okay, like obviously this is my favorite monster in all of Yu-Gi-Oh, so we have to play her, plus you know that ass though. What's it called? Leo Dancer is, I mean, she's just bae, like, so you gotta play her. And then like Bloom Priva, I mean, you gotta play her too because she's adorable and she's trying to give you a hug. So to like keep it 100, honestly, these cards are more important than these. Like you don't even need these cards. Just play these in your extra deck and you'll be fine. You're not gonna ever exceed in this deck ever, so you know what I mean. Like these are the most important cards. If you play Barrier Statues, you can literally just run these. Also run a Winda because I like that card too. But you can literally just run these and not run any other extra deck cards and you'll be fine. There was not one time in the entire regional where I even thought about going into an Exceed. So that's pretty much it, boys. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this always, and give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it or if you like Barrier Statues, and subscribe if you have not already.